like potatoes though. I like it. It does actually taste like potatoes. Like, what? Maybe it's because I didn't have potatoes in like 6 years.
Hey y'all, what's going on? I'm back. Coolie is back by popular demand. Not really, just back. Okay. But anyways, what we gonna be messing around with today is the kabocha squash. The kabocha squash. Alright. So we got us a kabocha squash. I picked this little guy up when I was at the grocery store the other day. Um, Good way to know that it's ripe, has this little orange patch right there. And also when you turn it over, or sometimes you'll see it like on the side, just like that. You see these light green stripes. That's a good indication that it's ripe. So it's kind of like a watermelon. You know how when you buy a watermelon, you have to get the watermelon with that yellow patch on it. Something very similar going on right here. So we gonna be cooking this bad boy up, right? So the kabocha squash it's heavy and it's really dense, and so it's really hard. So the hardest part about dealing with it is gonna be cutting it. So to cut it, what you're gonna need to do is get you a sharp knife. This is very, very important. Just get you a really sharp knife. I think I have a steak knife, but I think this might be my sharpest knife. Yeah, y'all. I got a steak knife. I'm vegan, but I got a steak knife. I use it to cut like my harder veggies. It's so on and so forth. Okay. So we gonna be messing around with this guy today. So to cut it, what you wanna do, and I might struggle a little bit, I tried to get a smaller one in particular because I knew I was gonna be shooting this video, but usually sometimes they'll be like this big when you see them in the store. But yeah, I got one that's slightly smaller, just so I wouldn't struggle too much. I might struggle a little bit, So you're gonna cut straight down. You're gonna cut straight down, and could kind of move your knife back and forth if it's hard for you. Yeah, I'm struggling. Y'all at home y'all better not be laughing at me struggling, cause y'all better stop playing. So you're gonna go straight across and then cut down this way as well. So line it up, line that part up with this part. You're just gonna cut down this way. So if you struggling, like I am a little bit, if you struggling, that all that means is that you need like a sharper knife. So you see how I'm struggling. I just like to say that my birthday coming up. My birthday coming up, and you know what I'm saying. I'm struggling a little bit with this knife, so you know what I'm saying. Coolie might need some cutlery, okay? That's all I'm saying. That's okay. So, anyways, y'all. So once you get it cut in half, that's the hardest part. I also don't ever ooh, look at that color. Look how orange that is. That's so pretty. I also never put my cutting board on the on the stove like this, so that's kind of why I'm a little bit all over the place right now. But the next step is you're gonna grab you a knife and you just gonna take it and you just gonna scoop the seeds out. That's it. Simple, right? Simple. Grab you a spoon and you're gonna scoop these guys out of here like this. I'm gonna toss it over there. Let's just scoop it out like this. And toss it over here. Now, some people like to keep the seeds to make like a roasted kind of like pumpkin seed type of thing. So kabocha squash it's a squash, but to me it's kind of like a pumpkin, you know? Cause look at it, y'all. It's all orange and stuff, just like a pumpkin, just like the calabaza pumpkin that Jamaican and Caribbean people eat. You know, but I know some people like who follow Dr. Sebi's list, like they won't eat what you call it? They won't eat the pumpkin seeds, right? Because there's that video of Dr. Sebi talking about how you shouldn't eat pumpkin seeds and all that stuff. So all of a sudden it's like you can't eat pumpkins either. But you know, I'd still do eat my like calabaza. Cause I grew up on those things. I grew up eating that stuff. You know? But you know, some people they're more comfortable eating the kabocha squash because the name has the word squash in it, and squash is on the list. So, you know, I mean, kabocha, the word kabocha actually is Japanese for pumpkin. So that translates to pumpkin squash. You know, so that's a whole thing. That's a whole, you know, don't stress too much about it, especially if you just coming into the lifestyle. Y'all, just get some vegetables and just eat them. That's it. Just get some vegetables, eat them, and you're gonna be alright. So I got my two halves, right? So I got my two halves. And so because they're hard, what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna work with one half at a time. So I'll put one half down and I'll put this other half, like I'll set it aside. I'll put it right here. And now what you're gonna do is just cut it up into smaller pieces. So I'm gonna go right here. I'm gonna cut down. I'm going to cut all the way down. And if you have a sharp, like a really sharp knife, what I see some people doing is they'll take the squash and they'll cut it like in flecks like this. But I can't do that because this knife isn't as sharp. So I cut it in half. Now we have quarters, right? And so at this point, you're just going to keep slicing it up. You're going to keep slicing it up. And so kabocha squash is really, it has a really sweet type of flavor. Kind of tastes like sweet potato. And it tastes like sweet potato. So you could kind of think of what we're going to be making today. It's going to be like a sweet potato mash. Kind of like a mashed potato, but we're going to do sweet potatoes. But we're not actually using sweet potatoes. So that's the good part about it, because sweet potatoes are really high sugar content, a little bit more starchy, so you don't want to use too much of those. So you get those like that. Then you're gonna do the same thing with these, but not these. Then do the same thing with this quarter. You're just gonna cut it down into small pieces as well. Just gonna cut it down into small pieces as well. So the texture of kabocha squash is really it's just like sweet potato as well. It's really satiny and silky, kind of like almost like when you have what do you call this thing? Breadfruit. Y'all know when y'all get the breadfruit and you boil it up, and then you what do you do with it? You like mash it up. I love breadfruit like that. I haven't had breadfruit in so long. But you'll mash it up. It has that same consistency. It's so silky. Just like a potato. Just like a potato. So I'm working on the other half now. I'm just going to slice that up. And this recipe is going to be super it's going to be super simple. It's going to be only a few ingredients. We're not going to put, butter. We're not going to put no butter or, like cream and dairy and milk and all that stuff in here. That's not necessary, That's so unnecessary. I still don't know why they do that. They be putting like a whole set of milk in like mashed potatoes. I guess it make it taste like creamier. But yeah, the thing about the kabocha squash is it has a creamy like taste, a creamy like feel, and like the like kind of like a buttery taste. So yeah, we're not gonna be using none of that. Okay. So I got them all cut up into little pieces. Next step, we're gonna take a paring knife. I'm almost 100% sure I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. But we gonna take y'all. Yo, I was not born in America. Y'all know that about me? I was born in the Bahamas, right? So half the words I be saying them wrong. But so you're gonna take a paring knife, whatever you wanna call it. Where I'm from, we just call this a knife, y'all. We just call it a knife, so that's what you gonna do. You gonna peel it. So some people don't peel kabocha squash, right? Some people do not peel it. They say the skin is edible. So if I was baking it or steaming it or if I was baking it, steaming it, or putting it like in a soup or something like that, I wouldn't be peeling it. I would not be peeling this thing. But for the purpose of this like dish, you know, I'm gonna peel it down because what we gonna be doing, like I said, was a mash. It's gonna be a mash. So this right here, this is probably like the most time consuming part of cooking this. So some people, like, what they'll do is if they want the skin off and they want to make it easier to peel and cut through, they'll put it in a they'll put the whole squash in a microwave before they get started for like 5 minutes. Now, you know how we don't really, you know how we do over here, right? We don't really use no microwaves. That's why I could put this camera up in front of me right now, because my microwave is missing from my oven, from my stove. There's no microwave. I had it removed. So you could do that if you're a microwave person. I'm not big on the microwaves because, you know, the waves, you know. You know, so what you could do though is you can you could go ahead and toss the whole squash into, you could toss the whole squash into a oven on 350 for like 15 to 20 minutes, and it'll help to soften up that skin and soften up the squash. And so I feel so weird calling this thing like just a squash, because, and this is a pumpkin, y'all. Y'all better stop playing. This is a pumpkin. This is a pumpkin. But yeah, also if you put it in the microwave, the oven on 350 for 15 minutes, it's gonna soften it up. It's gonna soften it up. And then you don't, at that point, you don't really need a very sharp knife. You could just cut right through it. Oops. You could just cut right through it. I'll pick that up later. But when you do put it in the oven, I noticed that it kind of changes taste a little bit. You kind of like lose some water, because, you know, putting it in the oven is kind of like almost like dehydrating it a little bit. So you lose some water content there. But when you get the squash and you peel it up like this and you cook it just like this, it's a whole different taste. It's a whole different taste. So kabocha squash don't really have a high water content. You'll see that when you're cooking it. It's not very watery, you know? So it's not like you know, butternut squash? You know how butternut squash is watery? It's not like that. It's not like the calabaza. The calabaza pumpkin is a little watery as well. There's a kabocha squash that has red skin. Like the skin is orange. That one is a little bit more watery. But this green skin one right here is not very watery. It's very like silky and buttery like mashed potatoes. Like potatoes. But yeah, so we just gonna cut the skin off of these, and so I mean this part ain't too difficult, but you know, yeah, you know. So I'm gonna keep going with this, and so like I'll cut right here. So if you wanna give you like a pumpkin cutting lesson right now, you wedge the knife between the skin and the flesh, and you support with this finger, and then you support with your thumb on the other side, and you put the knife between it, and you kind of just like shake it down, or I don't even know how do you even say this. My mommy would say, wind the knife down, wind the knife down, wind the knife down. So until you get to the end and you're done, and then you toss the skin. You toss the skin. But yeah, this is it. This is the kabocha squash. This is the kabocha squash. And like I said, it's for me it's a pumpkin, you know. I think when Dr. Sebi was talking about no pumpkins, or when he said no pumpkin seeds, he was probably talking about like the pepitas. Maybe he meant the pumpkins, like the sugar pie pumpkins are bad because that has like a really high sugar content. You know, the sugar pie pumpkins that American people are used to make the pumpkin pies. Yeah. I actually never had any of those. Like I've never tasted that. I don't know what that sugar pie pumpkin tastes like, man. It's probably mad sweet. It's probably mad sweet, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't eat that, but I eat do eat the calabaza. I do eat this one here, and I do eat butternut. You know, where I'm from, butternut squash is a pumpkin. You know, so my mommy called butternut squash butter pumpkin, right? So that just goes to say, y'all, terms like squash and pumpkin, like these are really general terms. You know, so you wanna not don't fight up, don't hurt your head too much with that stuff, especially if you just starting out. Just get some vegetables and eat them, y'all. Get some vegetables and eat them. As long as it's like not beets and carrots and things with like really high sugar content, like really high sugar content. Yeah, like beets and stuff like that. Yo, beets ain't even supposed to be beets. Like the natural beet don't look like what the beet today look like. They be growing beets just to make sugar. Like it's wild. They grow beets to make molasses. Make molasses. But yeah, we just gonna peel these out. Oops. We just gonna peel these out. Just like so. Like that. Like so, like that. And this is gonna be simple. Like this is like literally gonna be like 4 ingredients or 5. It's not gonna be a lot. But yeah, I've been thinking I wanna just like make some videos where I could just go through how to make one vegetable, and then y'all could like figure out like what you want to do with it. Like you can make it like a side, or you know you could put it on side of some quinoa, or you could combine it with like your other meals. But I'm not gonna be like doing like full out meals. I'm just gonna like show you how to make a vegetable, and it's gonna be up to y'all to combine it and do what you want with that. I typically like to have like some high in protein like quinoa, maybe like some split peas or lentils or chickpeas or something like that. And then aside of that, I'll have, you know, like 2 vegetables. Have some butternut squash or some kabocha squash with some greens, or some tomatoes with some salad on the side of the protein rich thingy. The protein rich thing. So, you know, definitely don't just eat only kabocha squash. Having variety in your like meals, that's like a big deal. That's a big deal. Kabocha squash. Like my mother, if my mother sees that, she gonna be like, "Why you calling it a squash? That's not a squash." It's like, that's a pumpkin. That's a butter pumpkin. That's like the butter pumpkin. Oh my goodness, my mother's crazy. She crazy. Crazy lady. Love her though. Love your mama. I know she's watching this. My biggest cheerleader. Oh my goodness. What do you call that thing a squash? It's a pumpkin. That's what I'm saying, y'all. Squash is so general of a term. Like, squash is, you know, you have winter squash, you have your summer squashes. Summer squash would be like zucchini, crookneck squash, patipan squash, kusa squash. Those are all summer squashes. They're thinner and they're not as hard as the winter squashes. But squash is a general term. Even so is pumpkin. Pumpkin is a general term. These are general terms, like how the sea moss is a general term. People call Chondrus crispus sea moss. They call species of Gracilaria sea moss. They call species of Eucheuma sea moss. They call a lot of different things. Some people are just growing whatever they want to grow and call it sea moss. At this point, I don't even know. I don't even know what they got no more. What they be selling? They be selling Chondrus crispus. Nah, they be selling something, labeling it Chondrus crispus, but then that thing ain't Chondrus crispus, y'all. Gotta do another video on that. That's gonna be a whole other video. Like that whole thing, that's gonna be a whole other video. Okay, so we got our peeled up kabocha squash, right? We got my little bowl here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna now cut them in just smaller pieces. I'm gonna cut them in smaller pieces. I'm gonna put them in my bowl, and after that we're gonna cook it up. Let me put my sleeves up, y'all. Let me get these sleeves up. Alright, so now if you were like baking it or something, you like cutting it in a certain shape, or even shapes would probably be a good idea. But what I'm gonna do is mash these, so I'm not even gonna worry. Okay, I'm not even gonna worry about the shapes. Just get it to be like generally the same shape, so cook evenly, but don't worry about it being perfectly, perfectly cubed. Like, y'all be out here. Listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all better stop playing. Like, y'all don't come to me and tell me this ain't how you supposed to do it. Well, this how Coolie make it, okay? Alright? Let me tell y'all something. I ain't no chef, alright? I used to be really sick, and I found healing in natural foods and herbs and things like holistic things. And so that's how I started like really trying to cook things to make them, you know, like the first thing you do when you come into healing is you want to cook your foods. You don't want to like go out and buy, you know, you don't want to go out and have someone else prepare your food, because you don't know what they putting up in there? You do not know, son. You don't know what they put. You don't know what kind of oil they frying it in. Listen, you don't know, child. I'm telling you. So, to avoid all of that mess, what you could do, my loves, is just cook your own food. It's gonna save you, money because you could buy things in bulk and then prep it yourself and make it. It's gonna save you money. What it won't save you is time because you're gonna have to put time in to make these things and prep them and all this stuff. But it's worth it, y'all. It's so much worth it. Like when you come into healing and you feel like you see progress and you just feel like healthier and better. Whew, let me tell you, it is so worth it. It is so worth it. 100%. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise, okay? You want to heal, you put that work in, girl. You go ahead, boy. You sow them seeds outside. You garden. You pick your crop. You cook your own food. Don't let nobody tell you. If you're a man and you trying to cook your own food, don't let no person tell you that's like a feminine thing. No, like you need to be able to cook your own food, okay? That's a good thing. That's a healthy thing. That's not a feminine thing. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my pot. I'm gonna cut that on. I'm gonna grab, what else am I gonna grab? I'm gonna grab me put this aside. I'm gonna grab me a pepper right quick. And I'm going to chop that up. I'm not going to use a lot of pepper. You don't have to put pepper if you don't want to put pepper, you know. But I'm just going to use a little just to give it a little bit more flavor. You really don't need this, but, you know, I like to just, you know, mess around with some reds in this meal. This dish, right? So y'all got me, right? Y'all not gonna be putting this, this isn't just one meal. So don't hit me up like, Coolie, am I just supposed to eat kabocha squash for lunch? The answer is no, not. You're supposed to mix it with some other stuff. So we going in with the avocado oil, right? Going in with that. So we ain't gonna put no butter in that, but we gonna put some oil up in there. And we gonna mess around like that. So we're gonna mess around. Camera going? Yeah, camera going. Okay, so we're gonna mess around like that. That's it. The kabocha squash was fairly small, so it's not like a lot you're gonna get out of it. So we got our fire right now on. We got our fire on medium. Yeah, like medium. And so we just going to toss it a bit. Toss that up a bit. Just like that. Just like that. Just like that. And then while that's getting all toasty, listen, you just gonna go in with this. Just toss it in, alright? Just toss it in. Oh man, y'all are funny. So just toss it in, and you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna let it brown a little bit. So get your lid, put your lid on, and let that sit there for like a little bit, like maybe like two minutes or so like that. Yeah. And let it get brown. Let it get browning. So I'm gonna grab me an onion, right? And this is gonna be for later, like when it's almost done, right? So I'm gonna listen. If you don't want no onions in there, you don't gotta put no onions in there, okay? So I'm gonna put some. Ooh, that was a bad cut. We be okay, y'all. We gonna be all right. We gonna be all right. I ain't gonna put too much onions in. If you want more onions, you could put more onions. If you don't want onions, like just take it out. Listen, y'all, Here's the thing: when you cook your own food, you could do anything with it. You can do anything with it. It have too much salt, good. Put some water. It don't have enough salt. Put some salt. You need it to be a little bit sweet. Throw a date in there. Get some maple syrup. You don't like onions? Don't use onions. Ain't no big deal. Ain't nobody gonna kill you. Especially if you live alone and you don't gotta cook for your family. You just make one pot for you. If you have kids and stuff like that, you might have to make a couple of pots, maybe one or two. But the aim here is really just like simple, trying to give you like simple kind of meals where you don't have to like go out and buy, you don't have to go out and buy prepared food because you can prepare it yourself. Like, come on, y'all. So we got the onions. Don't ask me how much onions this is. I don't measure nothing. I went through this whole video. I didn't measure nothing in my whole life. That's not true. I measure stuff sometimes, okay? But listen, y'all. You know, I'm from the Caribbean. Like, we don't measure stuff over there. So you know what? I feel bad. So okay, let me eyeball it. So this is like maybe like a third a cup. This is like a third a cup of red onion. So we could call it that. Let's call it that. Let's say third a cup. Let's say third a cup of red onion. That's what we gonna say for that. And then this should be a little bit more browning. It should be browning a little bit by now. Okay, it's not browning yet. So turn the fire up a little bit, and then I'll let it brown a little on the bottom. That make it taste good, It might not be the healthiest. So the healthiest thing would be like no oil and probably steam it. So that's typically what I would do if I was fasting. When I fast, usually I eliminate like all oils. But you gotta make it taste a little, we ain't fasted. I done just broke my fast, y'all. So I'm gonna throw some oil up in there. I'm gonna let it brown a little bit with the peppers, and I'm gonna toss some salt in there. Don't ask me how much. Just sprinkle until you feel like it's the right amount. Just sprinkle until you feel like it's the right amount. Just a little bit. I just put a little bit of salt. Remember, kabocha squash is sweet, like sweet potato. So you don't want to put too much salt. It's gonna off balance that sweetness, but you do want to put a little bit because it's gonna just give it some, like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, yeah, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, we're gonna let that brown up a little bit, and then what we gonna do? Alright, see it's browning a little bit. You see that? I don't know if y'all can see that. But it's browning a little bit. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna toss some water in there. And don't put too much, but don't put too little bit. If you want, you could just put a little bit and then add some more. But you don't want to drown it in water, or else then it get too watery, and then it's not gonna be like that mashed potato consistency. So I'm gonna grab my butter and throw that water in there. Okay? Just like that. Just like that. Let me turn the fire up a little bit. So bring that to a boil. So we turn the fire up a little bit to bring that to a boil. Okay? And so, see how much water I put in there, y'all? Like, it's not covering it completely. Yeah, so don't cover it completely, because at that point it's gonna be too much. What you want to do is like let it be swimming in some water, but don't cover it completely, because then it's gonna be too watery, and that's not gonna be the consistency I'm looking for, like that mashed potato consistency. So I'm gonna put the lid back on, right, and I'm gonna turn the fire up. a little higher, a little bit higher, so it comes to a boil. When it comes to a boil, you can lower the fire a little bit and then let it cook. Let it cook and let all that water um go down. Okay, let the water boil down. Okay, all right. So let all that water go down, and then after that, you're gonna mash it up. Then we're gonna put these onions in, and then I also got. So this is also this is also what do you call this thing? Optional. You don't gotta do this, but you know I will. I'll put a little bit. This is like you could think of this like a garnish. Look at me, I'm garnishing, y'all. Shoot, tell me something. So this could be like a garnish. Like, listen, like I said, I ain't no chef. So if you see me cutting this thing wrong, I ain't no Crush Foster. I ain't no Chef Aki. I ain't no Queen of Green, okay? And when we done, I ain't gonna plate it. Like, chefs really be going out, like, plating their stuff. They do that so well. That's not what we doing over here. We just trying to, like, get some healthy meals in and just eat healthy, okay? You could plate it nicely if you want to. That's always a nice touch, you know? It's good to have things visually appealing. But I'm working, like, several hours a day, and I'm tired several hours a day, you know, so I'm just busy, y'all. So sometimes the plating don't matter. I will plate something nicely if I'm trying to impress someone like my niece. So I'll like plate it up nicely for her, so she get like she's like, Auntie, that looks so nice. Yeah, you gotta do that stuff with kids, y'all. You really do. But yeah. We gonna go here, but yeah, I ain't no chef. That's what I saying. Every time I say Chef Coolie, I'm just joking, okay? I'm just joking. I ain't no Crush Foster. Crush Foster is actually a really nice person. He is like one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. He's so nice. He is really nice. Y'all should go follow him. And no, I'm not. This isn't sponsored. This isn't his like cutlery or nothing. Like, oh my god, nah, y'all play entirely. Y'all play entirely too much. Okay, like I had this one person like hit me up like because I bought something from I think it was Dr. Inky. I put it on my Instagram and someone hit me up. They're like, oh, is this he was like, oh, is this sponsored or does this actually work? And I'm like, yo, y'all play entirely too much. Like, I wouldn't just put something out there, like, if I don't feel like it worked. Okay, no, it's not sponsored. I don't get money for that. I don't get money for, like, posting people's products. Like, I post people's products if they work. If they helped me, like, I'll post your products. You know, so... no, it's not sponsored. It's not sponsored. Y'all too funny. Y'all just play entirely too much. Y'all better stop playing. Just like, stop playing with little sis. So I'm gonna turn it. Do a little turn on it. Okay, it's getting soft, but it's not like soft yet. So I'll recover. I'll give it like, it's been there for like what, 5 minutes? I'll give it like 10 minutes, 10 more minutes. So sometimes the squash is a little bit harder, depending on which one you pick up. So one time I got a kabocha squash, I cooked it for like 10 minutes and it was done. Like, what? And sometimes it's a little harder, so you might have to do 15, 20 minutes, so... let's see how long this one takes. When it's done, what will happen is it's gonna be soft. It's gonna be soft and it's gonna mash easy. It's gonna be soft and mash easy. So just look for that. If you didn't put enough water and it's not soft, you want to add more water to it. And then wait for it to soften up, and then you can mash it, and then you have your sweet potato mash without sweet potatoes. All right, y'all. So we've been going for about, I'd say like 10 minutes or so, and I just turned the fire down because it was getting a little dry down. So when it boiled down like that, you see this, how it's like this? You can't see the water anymore. Not too much water in there. That's exactly how you want it. Let me put this down. So you can't see the water up in there. You can see the bottom of the pot now. That's exactly how you want it. Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna turn the fire all the way down. You're gonna turn the fire all the way down, and then you're gonna get your I was laughing when I pulled this out because this is my potato smasher, right? It's my potato smasher, but what you could really do, and what I usually do is I don't know, I don't always have to use a potato masher. Like I'll just go in and I'll just mash it with the spoon, and it works just fine, yo. Like that's just like one less thing. That's one less thing to watch, but I ain't gonna do y'all like that. Like, you know, we on YouTube now, so I gotta if I'm making some mashed potatoes, I gotta use a masher, alright? So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna mash this thing up. I'm gonna mash this like this, and you turn it all the way down. Turn it all the way down. If you feel like it's too dry, what you could do is either add some water, that'd be the healthiest thing, or you could just add some a little bit of oil, you know, or a little bit of nut butter, and it'll help to cream it up. It'll help to cream it up a little bit more. So where I'm at with it, I'm thinking, I don't know, y'all. I'm thinking for me, I might want to add a little bit of water to it, but as I'm like mashing it, I think I'll be good. Oh, y'all, this is me in my kitchen. This is what it be like. This is how it be like. So I'm gonna drop some oil in it, just to give it like a smoother consistency. Again, you don't need to do this. You don't need to do that. So, but I did it, you know, just to give it like a smoother type of consistency. And so this is like a mashed sweet potato. Oh, go ahead, and I almost forgot, y'all. Yo, I'm just tripping right now. So go ahead and add in, while it's still warm, like half of the onions that you cut up, that you chop up. Like half of that, and mash it in, 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 mash it up. Yo, I'm a mess when I'm cooking. You should see me. You should see me when I be dancing, I be singing, and I can't sing. Like, yo, I be all over the place. But yeah, you just mash it up, mash it up. Mash it up, mash it up. And once you do that, let me just clean that off. Ooh, that smell like mashed potatoes. You know when you get the mashed potatoes with the and you got the onion, like the green onion in there? Oh my goodness. That's what this smell like right now. Some yummy buttery mashed potatoes. But they sweet potatoes. Some mashed sweet potatoes. Now when you see that consistency, y'all? Don't play. This is mashed potato consistency. This is mashed potato consistency. So I'll add the rest of the onions in. And again, if you the beauty of cooking your own foods, if you don't want to put onions, child, ain't nobody gonna kill you. Don't put no onions in there. Shoot, like y'all stressing too much. Like y'all Y'all better stop playing. Just cook this thing up. You know what I'm saying? Just cook this thing up. It's so sticky like potatoes that I have to scrape it off the spoon, y'all. Like, that's what I'm saying. So that's basically it. You know, like I said, this is how it is. You could go ahead and plate that nicely. I won't, cause I ain't no chef. You know what? Let me not do y'all like this, cause I was missing from YouTube for the past 2 years. You know, y'all done tuned into my channel. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let me attempt to plate it. Let me attempt to plate it. Let me push that aside. Let me attempt to plate it. This is me attempting to plate this thing. I hope Crush Foster gonna be proud of me. Oh my god. If this fails, y'all, just know. Just know. Oh wow. The plate is, hold on. Okay. Let's just try to plate this up. Come here with that. Let's just try to plate that up. So okay. That's your oh, y'all don't know about that. I know, chef, y'all. I mean, this is what I made the cilantro for, to just garnish it on there. But yeah, you could just go ahead and you could garnish with anything. I like to garnish with dill as well. Many things. If you're not into the garnish, ain't nobody gonna kill you. Just don't garnish. Just don't garnish, okay? But that's it, you know. God, I ain't even try to plate out. I'm just like the worst plater ever. But this is what it be like. This is what it be like, okay? And of course, this is like gonna be a side. Sorry, y'all. I had to. I'm getting kind of hungry. It's getting kind of late. I've been doing a lot this morning, but this is gonna be like a side. Ooh, got to turn the fire off. Who would have thought? I'm not a chef. Okay. So what we gonna do is we gonna take this and we gonna put it as a side, or you gonna put it next to, again, like some quinoa or something like that, and then you gonna eat it like that. Try to incorporate a lot of different like variety in your food, because we need to have, like, one plant might not have all the nutrients, but when you eat a bunch of different plants, you're gonna hit all those different nutrient requirements. So you want to definitely like have a variety of plants, okay? Especially if you're vegan and you only eating plants, you want to have a variety. Big thing. But this was me messing around with some let me see how that, y'all don't try to play me. This don't look too bad. This don't look too bad, y'all. Come on now. Chef Coolie in the building. Okay, all right. Alright, y'all. It's getting kind of long, so I'ma say peace out, and I'ma see y'all. I'ma see y'all next time. Love yourself and keep healing. I love you. Peace. Alright, y'all. So I forgot to say, before you eat it or serve it or whatever, you might want to sprinkle a little bit of salt on top of it. If you're in your sea vegetable bag, then you might just like sprinkle some lava flakes or dulse flakes or kelp flakes on top of it. But what I would do is put like something a little salty on top of it to bring the flavor out. But yeah, that you should be good on it. And if you don't, that's optional. Again, you're making your own food, so if you don't want to put no salt or nothing on top of it, you like it just the way it is, you don't want to add no extra salt, ain't nobody gonna kill you. You gonna be straight, okay? So I'll see y'all later. Until next time, peace.